Good morning. So this morning is Saturday morning. You have finished your work day and now you are here with me to learn something, connect with your spirituality and continue your meditation practice. So in the beginning, we chat on something, and this morning, before we begin the chat, I like to guide you through the 5 precepts and reflections on Dhammapada. So it's here with me. You can also read it. I now take refuge in the Buddha. I now take refuge in the Dhamma. I now take refuge in the Sangha. For the second time, I take refuge in the Buddha. For the second time, I take refuge in the Dhamma. For the second time, I take refuge in the Sangha. For the third time, I take refuge in the Buddha. For the third time, I take refuge in the Dhamma. For the third time, I take refuge in the Sangha. I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from killing or harming living beings on purpose. I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from taking what is not given. I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from wrong sexual activity. I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from telling lies and harsh speech. I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from taking drugs and alcohol. I undertake to be loving and kind to myself and all living beings. And now we do the 5 reflections, 5 recollections. I am subject to old age. I am not exempt from old age. I am subject to illness. I am not exempt from illness. I am subject to death. I am not exempt from death. I will be separated from everyone and everything dear and agreeable to me. I am the owner of my karma, the heir of my karma. I have karma as my origin, karma as my relative, karma as my resort. I will be the heir of whatever karma, good or bad, that I do. Now let us read the verses of the Dhammapada together. Mind is the forerunner of all evil states. Mind is chief. Mind made are they. If one speaks or acts with an unwholesome mind, because of that, suffering follows one, even as the wheel follows the hoof of the draft ox. Mind is the forerunner of all good states. Mind is chief. Mind made are they. If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, because that, happiness follows one, even as one's shadow that never leaves. He abused me, he beat me, he defeated me, he robbed me. In those who harbor such thoughts, hatred is not appeased. He abused me, he beat me, he defeated me, he robbed me. In those who do not harbor such thoughts, hatred is appeased. Hatred is never overcome by hatred in this world. Hatred is only overcome by love. This is an eternal law. In the unessential, we imagine the essential. In the essential, we see the unessential. Anyone who entertains such wrong thoughts never will realize the truth. What is essential, we regard as essential. What is unessential, we regard as unessential. Anyone who entertains such right thoughts will realize the truth. Here, one develops a mind that rejoices now, and in the future, one rejoices. In both states, the well-doer rejoices. One who rejoices a lot will be able to see the purity of their own deeds, speech, and thoughts. When one is happy now, they will be happy in the future. In both states, the well-doer is happy. Thinking I have done good in the past, one becomes happy and will easily experience a blissful state of mind. Though a person recites sacred texts, but doesn't act accordingly, that heedless person is like a cowherd who counts others' cows. They have no share in the fruits of the holy life. Though a person recites the sacred text very little, but acts in accordance with the teaching, they give up lust, hatred, and delusion. They truly know what is good, and this leads to a mind that is free from suffering. They cling to nothing here and in the future. In this way, one shares the fruits of the holy life. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So today, I thought of bringing Rumi to our chat. I found this book in our collection. This is Love's Ripening, Rumi on the Heart's Journey. I love some of the things I have read of Rumi. Um, I find him connecting with my heart. One of the quotes that is ascribed to him is this quote about one of the marvels in the world is seeing the sight of a soul um, trapped in the prison with the key in his hand. Sight of a soul trapped in the prison with the key in his hand. And I see the imagery in it that you have the key, but you don't want to escape. So recently, one of my social media friends started chatting with me, and he said he was house arrested because of being involved in politics. And before he was house arrested, he was well built, he had so much of energy, and he could eat anything he wanted, and he put on weight, and he was an instructor, a workout instructor, so wellness fitness instructor. But after he was house arrested, he could only eat one proper meal a day. So he had to adapt to those circumstances. He became skinny. He uh, surrendered to that experience, and he discovered spirituality while there. He did not want to escape, but eventually he saw that it triggered some health problems. So then he had to make effort to escape this house arrest situation, and now he is free and back attending his mom's 1 year anniversary of death. So it's in those circumstances that when he was house arrested, he discovered spirituality, meditation, and connecting with his own inner being. So the journey is often inwardly, and I see Rumi as a great poet that touches many hearts. And I have once attended this book launching at Harvard of Rumi's poems, translations of his poems. So I'm so glad when I found this book in our collection here at Peace House. This belongs to our friend's daughter. Somebody gifted it to her, and I see some writings here. And the first one, and this is translated by Kabir, Helminski, and Ahmad Rezwani. So let's read the first one. Within this human condition, ripened fruit. So these poems fall under within this human condition column, and there's the first poem that is called Ripened Fruit. Do you remember how you came into existence? You may not remember because you arrived a little drunk. Let me give you a hint. Let go of your mind and then be mindful. Close your ears and listen. It is difficult to speak to your unripenness. You may still be in your springtime, unaware that autumn exists. This world is a tree to which we cling, we, the half ripe fruit upon it. The immature fruit clings tightly to the branch. Because not yet ripe, it is unfit for the palate. When fruits become ripe, sweet and juicy, then, biting their lips, they loosen their hold. When the mouth has been sweetened by felicity, the kingdom of the world loses its appeal. To be tightly attached to the world is immaturity. As long as you are an embryo, all you think about is sipping blood. There is more to be said, but let the Holy Spirit tell it. You may even tell it to your own ear. Neither I nor some other I needs to tell you, you who are also I. Just as when you fall asleep, you leave the presence of yourself to enter another presence of yourself. You hear something from yourself and imagine that someone else has secretly spoken to you in a dream. But you are not a single you. My friend, you are the wide sky and the deep sea. Your awesome you, which is 900-fold, is where 100 of your yous will drown. So this is from Matharvi 3, 1289 to 1303. So the connection with Buddhism I see in his poem is I, me, my making, and how intoxicated we are um, when we are ripe, perhaps with our stupidity, the egoistic nature, and illusory nature of the mind. And when we are ripe with it, just like a fruit hanging from a branch, it falls. It's just not worthy being up there anymore. And with that understanding, you can think of any moment when you felt you were seeking praise, looking for rewards. There you see you are little too swollen, and in any moment right there, you may fall and vanish. No one is there to hold you when you fall. It's rare that when a fruit falls, that somebody is beneath the tree and under the tree to catch you. So We can't expect anybody to catch you when you fall. So, being intoxicated with anything that is uh, poisonous, whether it is ego, any defilement, makes you get lost. And you have many hundreds of different personalities, characters within you, and you get buried in one of these. So it's best you make sure you are mindful. Just like it said in the beginning here, you may still be in your springtime, unaware that autumn exists. When you are trapped in a place or in someone's mind or in your own mind, you don't realize that other places, other people, other opportunities exist. Give yourself some time without coming to making quick decisions about ending your life or beginning a new chapter. Give yourself that time and you will marvel in that patience. For flowers to bloom, um, the patience is so very important. So recently, a young doctor, committed suicide in Sri Lanka, and he was making news. People were saying, "See, no matter how much education you can get, the best education, you can land in a medical school, and still something may be missing in you." But so the person was saying children should be closer to studying art, studying, being, playing in the nature. But I saw that other people were saying that even those children who play, who have learned different forms of art, they also commit suicide. So it's not about what you have learned; it's how much patience that person has, and how much value this person puts into living your life to solve problems instead of ending your life thinking that it is the only solution to solve the problems. So I think it's not fair for your human birth, because it's a rarity that you are born as a human being, um, that you end it with your willpower. When you give time to it, you see that you can be useful, beneficial to human beings. Of course, you will be expecting death to come your way, but while doing that, you can also live your life and see that every day is an opportunity to overcome your challenges, breathe in, breathe out, get some sun, and enjoy a hike, swim, and um, radiate loving kindness, and keep your mind at a pleasant place so that there is no uh, huge craving to end things. And oftentimes, that person who ends things by that much power and anger is said to be headed in a direction that is in woeful plains. And woeful plains is eons, hundreds of millions of uh, years, eons of existence. And I pray that you never put yourself into that kind of situation. When you are ripe, be ripe with mindfulness, be ripe with non greed, non hatred, and non delusion. Be humble, accept your own mistakes, be kind, be gentle. In the world of where you can be many things, you can be kind and that is a rarity in the world. That said, we can go to another poem. Wings and feathers. Every soul receives a call. How long will you linger here? Return to your true home, since our mount of calf of proximity is where you belong. Fly cheerfully like the legendary anqua. It's a mythical bird. With such shackles of clay holding you down, painstakingly undo the shackles from your feet. Leave this strange land. Travel toward home. We are tired of this separation. Please make some attempt. For some spoiled buttermilk, a little water from a well, and a few sweets, you are wearing out your life in vain. God has given you feathers of endeavor. As long as you have life, shouldn't you learn to fly? From indolence, the wings of hope atrophy. When the wings and feathers are lost, what will you be good for? This call of deliverance annoys you, yet you don't mind hanging around. Beware how happily you are lingering deep in this dungeon. Heed the call, so take admonition, O you who have insight. You are not kids. Why are you biting at your sleeves? What is the admonition except for jumping over the stream? Come on, jump over to the other side like a grown up. Why are you pounding the mortar of carnality? You have no moistness. You are drifting upon the wind. God likened this world to dry chaff. It's from Quran 57:20. Why are you gnawing at it like a beast of burden? Come on, here is the wine. Get out from the vat. Now purify the body after the pancake and the pudding. Come on, the witness of the soul is seeking mirrors. Burnish the rust off the mirrors. I myself have no way or right to openly describe these truths. Seek them from the fountainhead if you are really seeking. Diwani Shami Tabriz 945. So those are these two poems that I like to reading. I like to bring uh, a poem from Sinhalese uh, literature. I love poems, and let me find it. This is Eranda Nishan Uyanwatta. It's about a mountain. බොහෝ උසූ කඳු මුදුන්වල ඔබ නොදන්නා කතාවක් ඇත. කන්ද වාගේ ඔහොම හිටියට ඇතුලේ ඇත්තේ පාළු හිස්කම. ආව් වැසිද තද සුළං අභිමුව නොසෙල්වී උන් කන්ද දැක්කම. හිතක් පපුවක් නැතිලු කන්දට ගහක් ඇඹරී කීවා සුළඟට. තරුවකට පෙම් කරන තරමට ඉතිරි කරගත් කඳුළු උල්පත රහසේ නිම්නෙට මුදා හල බව ගලන ගඟවත් දන්නේ නෑ තව. එහෙම කන්දක් නාය යන්නේ දරා ගන්නට බැරිම වුණ තැන. This is about a mountain, and you look at the tips of many mountains, and there's a story that is not known to you. Although it stands tall like a mountain, there is a vacuum inside that mountain. Although it can tolerate the sun, rain, storms, people say that this mountain does not have a heart, that it stands there like a rock. And oftentimes it's a small tree that is swirled through the wind that says such a thing, comparing the tree's experience to the mountain. You see the conundrum here that the tree is small and has a narrow view perception and has a judgment toward the mountain. But this mountain has a well of tears, a spring of tears, enough to fall in love with a star, unreachable. But secretly, this spring is released to the valley. And now the spring has become a river, and the river has forgotten this past. That it was released from the mountain. And that kind of a mountain falls with a landslide when it can't stand any pain anymore. So people out there who appear to be very strong have moments when they cannot, be tall like a mountain anymore, and then they come crashing down. At that time, equanimity toward that person, giving them the sense of belonging and protecting, looking after them as best as you can, is a gift that you can give, a blessing that you can be. So await for that opportunity. When people around you come crashing down, hold them, hold them. Do not let them fall. So your virtues begin to shine. And an opportunity to look after yet another precious human soul that is ripening is yours. And that way, you don't let them crash. You give them abhayadana. Abhayadana is giving life to them. Abhaya means no fear. You don't frighten them. You don't make them feel nervous around you. Okay, so with that, let us do our beginner's meditation practice. You may close your eyes and begin to sit in a meditation posture. Breathe in, breathe out. Your upper body is upright. Your neck, your spine are properly aligned. Your shoulders at ease. Your lungs breathing in and breathing out. Your hands resting, your knees are comfortable, inborn, the soles of your feet and your toes. These are relaxed, grounded, connected with the earth, pain free. When your mind is away and free from any pain, you let go of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, skin contacts, and thinking. Thoughts are often, when placed in the wrong side, become destructive, and thoughts have this magnificent power to be creative. When mind is free from thoughts, mind comes to a resting position. So you don't give up seeing, hearing, but you give up indulging in seeing, hearing, and any sensual stimuli that invite impurities to your being. and your body is completely relaxed and becomes stilled. Notice your breath is the only thing that is moving. Your mind tends to catch the attention, catch the movement. Mindfully you breathe in, mindfully you breathe out. Mindfully and slowly noticing every single movement, sensation, air going through nostrils without skipping a single moment. If you feel nervous about this experience, notice that sensation as an opportunity to embrace what is now, what is present. You can disown it, allow it to be until it disappears. Your mind is inclining toward anything. See if it is rooted in greed, any form of attachment, something unfulfilled in you, rooted in hatred, rooted in some form of delusion. Noticing these three poisons and abandoning them is freedom from dukkha. Not only happiness, but you can also welcome this disappearance of happiness with mind at ease, unbothered, neutral, acceptance, forgiveness, unshaken, freedom. Now you are on your own, so you can investigate and disown such tendencies and be free, be liberated, vimukta. with the heart imbued with loving kindness inwardly and outwardly to the entire universe. Let us wrap up this meditation session and share merits. May the suffering ones be suffering free, fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May being inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu. Have a wonderful weekend until we see next time.